Hello, I'm Ray with Adventure Freaks, and today we're meeting with Matt Kerr. Matt has been living in Malaysia for 20 years and he's a visa expert. Malaysia is one of those rare countries that captures people's hearts. It's beautiful, welcoming, and full of opportunity. It's no surprise that many visitors consider making it their home. But with recent changes in the Malaysia My Second Home MM2H visa program, there's been a little bit of confusion. So in this interview, we hope that we can clear that up. We're going to break down the various different MM2H visas for you to see if Malaysia is right for you. Now let's dive in. All right, so today we're heading over to the beautiful country of Malaysia with my friend Matt Kerr. And Matt, thanks so much for taking the time to be a part of this podcast.
No props.
Yeah, so today what we're here, Matt is a specialist. We're going to cover visas. There's a lot of buzz around Malaysia. A lot of people love Malaysia and love the idea of moving to Malaysia. It's truly a
Hmm.
special place over there. But
Yeah.
what we want to discuss is what are the visa options for people that are interested in moving there. So that's what we're going to cover today. Let's start off first, Matt, by you introducing yourself. Give us a little backstory about where you're from, how you landed in Malaysia, and what you actually do over there.
Well, I'm originally from the UK, from the Cotswolds. It's just a small, boring town with nothing really going on.
Yeah.
Um, I moved over to Singapore in 2006, and then the end of 2006, I moved down to Malaysia. Got a bus ticket and changed locations because I didn't really like Singapore. It's not the real world. It's very shiny, very clean, but
Yeah.
it's just boring and sterile. And I've been here since November 2006, so getting on for my 20th year now. Um, I was in sales originally in the UK, and I came here on a as a business development manager for a financial independent financial advisory company, and then I've
Okay.
trained my way up through from base to qualified to running the Malaysia office for an international, and now I'm back to being an employee because I like it better that way.
Wow.
Kind of freelance employee because
Yeah.
I can work from home, I can run my other business as well.
Yeah.
Um, Very little interference.
Okay. Your background's in financial, you're a financial advisor. You were working for an
Hmm.
organization in England, and then they moved you over to Asia.
Oh, no, I was working in sales in England, and then I took a ticket and well, I was headhunted in the UK to come and work for a multinational financial advisory company as
Okay.
a sales basically. And then I started off just making appointments, and then I got qualified, and then started taking on my own clients. And for the last 15 years, I've been working as a financial advisor, a wealth manager for
Okay.
clients globally.
So how did you become an expert in visas?
Well, part of my clients' portfolio is really that some of them have been around and been in Malaysia for 20 years, like I have, but the natural cycle of an expat tends to be 2 to 4 years in one country and then they'll move somewhere else,
Yes.
especially if they're a manager or they're oil and gas or something. So quite often my clients have referred to me other places, parts of the world, or they've moved. So I have to think globally for them. It can't be locally based. And because I've got a lot of clients that get on the way in, they then start to ask, if I'm not going to be working, what are my options? If I want to set up a company, what are my options?
Hmm.
Um, that's when we got our exposure to visas, and then more recently, mainly been Malaysia My Second Home, which is a semi-retirement visa,
Right.
basically.
Yes. Yeah. We'll do the deep dive in that here
Mhm.
shortly. So, what type of a person seeks you out? Who are these people? What are they looking for? Are they looking to move to Malaysia? Who are they?
Um, a lot of people are referred to me from here in Malaysia, but other than that, it tends to be people that are moving to the country. They might have been taking a job as a teacher. They might be referred in from a client. This was one of my clients here, and they're in a different same company. They might literally recently. It's been a lot of retirees that have been disenfranchised with the UK or with the US. I mean, I'm not going to get into politics, but and how different things are these days.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of mixed racial couples, American or British and another side coming over because they feel less comfortable than they used to in the country they're in.
Yeah.
And also people because the cost of living has gone up extra. I'm kind of saying it's gone up a lot in the US and the UK. Pretty much doubled or tripled since I left.
Yeah.
Whereas in Malaysia and Asia, the cost of living is it's gone up, but it's definitely a lot more manageable than it would be in the US or the UK at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. And before Matt, you've been there for you said 20 years now?
hmm This is the
Okay.
20th year. Yeah.
So there's no better person to ask. What is it about, just to sum it up before we dive into the visas, what is it about Malaysia? I mean, I talk to people all the time that are in Thailand and then they shoot over to Malaysia, they fall in love with it. People that are in Vietnam, Philippines, they end up landing and checking out Malaysia. They want to
hmm
stay there. There's something really unique about Malaysia. What is it? What is it about this place? Thinking about moving abroad but not sure where to start? You're not alone. There are dozens of countries that seem amazing on the surface, but how do you know which ones are actually right for you? The wrong move could be stressful and expensive. That's why at adventurefreaks.com we created the Ideal Destination Finder. It's a fun, unique tool that helps match you with your top 3 destinations based on your lifestyle, budget, and priorities. All you need to do is go to the adventurefreaks.com website, scroll down a bit, and you'll see the Ideal Destination Finder. Click it and start the quiz. It takes about 3 minutes and it could save you months of research. So give it a try and stop guessing. Now let's get back to the video.
Uh, it's a happy medium. It's friendly. 99% of people you meet are very friendly. You've got a lot of different cultures here. So you've got the Bumi, the Malays, which are the main um, natives to here. They're probably about 60%, but then you've got Chinese, you've got Indian, you've got Thai, you've got Vietnamese, and you've got lots of expats as well. And everyone just gets along. There's no animosity from anyone here. And there's also the fact that I think for me, even though I'm not a political person, when I was in the UK, I was aware of what's going on. Here, you don't even need to be aware of it really because it doesn't really affect anybody. So
Yeah.
you can kind of even if you've got lots of Malaysian friends, it doesn't really come into things. So you don't get that tension between different peoples here so much. And
Hmm.
everyone just gets along, is very friendly. And everything
Wow.
works very well here as well. To be
Yeah.
fair, the roads here are better than they are in the UK these days,
Yeah.
which it shouldn't be, you wouldn't
Eh,
thought, because everyone thinks of the place as being a almost a third world country if they don't know it. But that's not
So
the case.
So if people want to see, a country where people figured it out and how to get along, go to
Mhm.
Malaysia.
Yeah. And somewhere you can live on a Western income almost not like a king. That's a very cliched expression, but
Sure. Yeah.
you get a lot more punch for your dollar or your
Yeah.
pound.
Yeah. Yeah. Just I mean, Kuala Lumpur is an amazing city. I mean, it's,
Mm.
comparable to something like a New York City. And like you say, it's very international, tons of cafes and
Mhm.
restaurants. What can you get a rental for there nowadays?
It's very variable. I mean, I'm in a apartment, a slightly older one because I always prefer slightly larger. Newer ones tend to be quite pokey.
Yeah.
But I'm in a 4,500 square foot, 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, balcony,
Wow.
and I can walk to the Petronas Towers at a European speed in about 20 minutes. If my wife's with me, it might take half an hour.
Hmm.
Anyway, um, but it depends. I mean, I'm paying here 9,000 ringgit a month, which is basically 2,000 US dollars for
You said a 5,000 square foot?
4,500 square
Four
foot.
and a half thousand square foot, and you're
And
paying
there's a pool
2,000.
on the roof, which I share with 9 other apartments. There's a gym, and yeah,
Do you know
it's
what do you know what that would be in New York City?
5 times probably.
5 times easy.
Yeah.
That's correct. So like a regular apartment, I mean, you got a massive place there. So a regular apartment, like a 1 bedroom apartment, what do they go for?
Well, it also it's very variable. I mean, I've just had a 35-year-old product provider who's just moved into Kale, and he's just moved into a place called Area, which is 1,800 square foot, 3 bedrooms, and he's paying about seven, I think. But that's brand spanking new. It's about 3 years old.
A three
But saying that,
bedroom, a three
yeah,
bedroom apartment, brand new for 700 a month.
and that's furnished as well.
Wow.
But
That's
then
okay. Yeah, that's just
you
like,
can also, if you go maybe a kilometer further from town, from me, so you're still in town, you
yeah,
can get a landed house, a 4 bedroom house with a garden for less than I'm paying for this place, maybe 5,000, 6,000 a ringgit a
yeah.
month.
Well, when I move there, I'm just going to move in with you because you have that much space. So it's just,
Yeah, we have more than we need. So, and I do keep telling my wife that.
all right, Matt. Well, let's kind of clear this up for the people that are thinking about retiring or moving to Malaysia. What are their options for visas? And are there income requirements? What can you share about that?
So there's actually six types.
Okay.
Um, there's ones which are less popular. Ones they've got one. There's basically an island called Sabah, which is in West Malaysia,
Okay.
and
What is
that
it called?
one,
What is that called?
Sabah,
How do you
Sabah.
SABAH? That's a visa.
Yeah, well, Sabah's the island,
Okay.
and it's a Sabah MM2H. So their requirements are lower than the mainland ones. You've
Okay.
got an income requirement of 10,000 ringgit a month. So you have to have about, let's say 2,500 US as an income per month.
So what is this visa called? What's
It's called Sabah, Malaysia My Second Home.
Okay,
So
so it is the Malaysia My Second Home, MM2H.
but it's specific to that part of Malaysia.
So all you
So
need is $2,500 per month of income, like a pension to show?
per person, if it's a single person, 10,000. If it's a couple or a family, 15,000. And you can
Okay.
do it from the age of 30 plus. So you don't
Where
have
did
to be
the
just
I
retirees.
thought you said 2,500.
That was if you're a single person. If you're a family or a couple, then the requirement increases to 15,000 a month. So call it three and a half.
Okay, so there's no property
No
investment
property.
requirement. All you need to show as a single person on Sabah, you make 2,500 a month.
Plus, you need to put on the fixed deposit, but there's no property requirement.
Okay, what's the fixed
The fixed
deposit?
deposit is 500,000 ringgit.
And how much is that in USD?
That would be 100 call it.
Okay, 120
25.
$125,000 you have to deposit into a Malaysian bank account?
Yeah, you can still use the international banks like HSBC or Standard Chartered, but it has to go into a fixed deposit for the duration of your visa. But you can choose the bank and you can choose the rates, the best rates to suit you, and you can change it as you need to as the years go by, as long as it stays invested.
Okay, so for just clarification purposes, so for the viewers watching this, they want to move to Malaysia. Is this the least expensive option to move to Malaysia?
No, that's probably second cheapest. You've got what we call the special economic zone as well. This
Okay,
one, this one allows you to live in Peninsular Malaysia, so that's the mainland and Langkawi and Penang, which are just off the mainland.
okay,
But that one is very specific to having to buy a property in a development called Forest City. And to be blunt, as a financial advisor, we have a fiduciary responsibility to our clients to be candid. Forest City is a failed project, basically. It was built to be a metropolis with 1 million people there, and it's currently about 10% invested or 10% purchased. But the Sultan of Johor Bahru, or Johor, actually is a 50% owner of it. And he's now also the main king, the king of kings in Malaysia.
interesting.
Hence, Malaysia My Second Home being used as a way to help boost his investment.
Sure.
Um, Nothing corrupt there at all.
Uh,
But
so what is
but
okay, so it's called the Special Economic Zone. And what
yeah.
is the name of this place again, the island?
Well, it's Johor Bahru is the nearest city.
Okay, so that's
It's
the closest
basically
city.
when you get the land bridges from Singapore to join up Malaysia, that's JB.
Okay.
Forest City is about probably a commute would probably be about 1 hour to the border. So you could be in Singapore in about 2 hours if
Oh,
those long.
okay. So way down in the south. Okay. So for people, this is going to be their cheapest option if you want to retire, move to
Yeah.
Malaysia. What are the investment income requirements here?
So must buy property in Forest City. And to my understanding, the base rate for property, the cheapest you can get there is about 365 thousand ringgit. So
Okay.
that's about what, about 80, $90,000.
80 to 90,000.
You don't have to reside in your property though. So you can buy it and just try and rent it out or just leave it and sit on it and go and live in KL or in one of the islands. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
But you have to also put down a fixed deposit. If you're aged 21 to 49, you have to put down 65,000 USD in fixed deposit.
29 to how old?
49, 21 to 49 years old,
21 to 49, and it's how much?
65K.
65K. How about for retirees, 50 and older?
50 and over, 32.
Okay.
But you're also allowed to use 50% of your fixed deposit towards the purchase after you've purchased. Once you've got the sales and purchase agreement agreed and
Okay.
stamped, you can then utilize a little bit of your fixed deposit for that, 50% basically.
Okay. So Johor Bahru is this area in the south. You're saying they're trying to still work to salvage, build it up, and get people to move in there.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's basically built, and you've got everything from luxury houses on the waterfront to apartments and condos. But it's only it's almost completely built, but it's kind of gone to not ruin, but it's just gone to a bit of neglect because it's so sparsely populated.
yeah.
Uh, it is building up. I mean, there's probably 100,000 people living there, but it's
Okay.
built for a million.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, a lot of lights are off when you look up, basically.
Yeah. I
Bit of
imagine.
a ghost town.
Okay. So, and that is the least expensive option to move to
Hmm.
Malaysia for a retiree is you're going to have to invest in a property. It's going to cost you 80 to 90,000 minimum.
Hmm.
And then you also have to, as a retiree, 50 years old or older, put a 32,000 deposit into a
Hmm.
bank that you can
Yeah,
show. And it's a little more for people 21 to 49. That's your least expensive option.
yeah.
Okay.
A side note on that as well would be that Forest City, although it's a bit failed at the moment, long term it's probably quite a good investment. So if you're looking 10 to 15 years, you probably will make some good returns on your property because they're not in demand now, but they will be eventually,
Yeah.
especially when you've got a king driving business to that property.
Sure. Yeah.
But it just shouldn't be looked at as being a short-term gain, basically.
And it's on
Uh,
the coast, right?
yeah,
So,
every unit there will be looking at the either the river or the sea, basically.
wow. Okay. So
Mm.
you're right. I mean, right now, I mean, if you wanted to make a good investment and want to sit on it for 10 to 15 years, it might be the place. For 80,
Yeah,
90K, it could probably triple in
yeah.
15. Who knows? You never
You
know.
might still struggle to sell it in 15 years though, because it might still only be 50% occupied. But it's with every investment, there's balance and active, liquidity versus profit and so on.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Matt, why, like a lot of countries offer the golden visa or the investment visa option, but they also offer visas where all you got to do is prove you make a certain income per month so that
Hmm.
you can move there. Why doesn't Malaysia do that?
Because I think Malaysia's popular enough that it doesn't need to.
Okay.
I think in a way, I think you could say that whereas Singapore seems being the jewel of Asia,
Yeah,
Malaysia considers itself to be the jewel of the rest of Southeast Asia. Probably the politics would say that.
I see.
Um, and it's a certain element of truth in that. It's a very stable country, it's very safe, and it's very appealing.
Yes.
So they're using MM2H to be a slight boost to the economy and bring in people who are a lot more stable. I mean, there's places like Thailand who've got quite a good, bad reputation for bringing in a certain age group of men, single, to come
Yes.
along for a few years, burn themselves out, and go back home penniless. So I think they kind of want to avoid that to a degree as well. They
Okay.
want to have people that are self-sustaining and can be here long term. and won't end up being a drag on the economy potentially.
Yeah. So they're just much more selective,
Yeah.
carefully selective. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there is also an investment visa you can do called PVIP, but that's more of a business visa, and that would take 1 million ringgit of investment, but it would allow people to actually work in Malaysia. 1 million ringgit investment plus 40,000 ringgit income per month, so $9,000 a month. So it's geared as a business investment visa, really. So if people want to come here and set something up that isn't set up, then that's the way in.
Well, it's almost better to just get a work visa, pursue work in Malaysia, and find some company that'll hire you so that they'll provide a work visa. It seems like the easiest way. But then again, for retirees, they don't want to
Yeah.
work.
And to be fair, it's Malaysia has the viewpoint these days of if a Malaysian can do the job and there's no particular reason that the expat would need to be hired, why not hire a Malaysian?
Sure.
So
Yes.
they have a mandate which says hire Malaysia to be,
Hmm.
and it's fair enough, you know.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's not as easy as it was to get work permits for foreigners these days.
Hmm. Okay. All right. So then what other options are there that we can discuss to break this down for people still interested in moving there? So they have the MM2H. Explain a
Mhm.
little bit about what that is. And I know there's a silver, a gold, and a platinum.
Yeah. So the main one is the national MM2H is the most popular because it's got the most freedom in it, and most people want to live in mainland Malaysia anyway.
Hmm.
So the silver one is the one we always recommend to our clients. We don't, you can get platinum, you can get gold, but platinum's only really worth having if you want to do business in Malaysia or work in Malaysia, but it's expensive.
Hmm.
Um, Silver is the most cost effective and is also the most sensible one for anybody because otherwise you're just paying more fees for no real benefit.
Hmm.
So the silver is anything on age 25 or older.
Okay.
Uh, they don't specify anything beyond that, apart from if you're over the age of 50, you not don't have any requirement to stay in Malaysia for any set period of days.
Okay.
If you're under 50, you're expected to stay 90 days per year.
Okay.
That's not a big deal anyway,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say no income requirement. However, they have been asking recently to see if people have income. When we said that people have not had income, it hasn't made any difference. I'm not really sure why they ask, but
Okay.
bureaucracy in government is quite normal, I guess.
Hmm.
With the silver, it's 150,000 USD in fixed deposit.
Okay.
Again, which has to stay for the duration of your visa. And it can be in either USD or in Malaysia ringgit.
Okay. Okay.
50% of that can be utilized for property purchase, for Malaysian medical costs, or Malaysian-based education costs if you have a family and kids.
Okay.
Excuse me. The there's a minimum property price that you have to buy of 600,000 ringgit. However, it's kind of a moot point because state minimums are normally higher than that anyway, so they will supersede the 600K. But for example, in Kuala Lumpur, you've got two states. On the east side, you've got KL, and on the west side, you've got Selangor.
Uh-huh.
KL has a 1 million ringgit minimum for foreigners, and Selangor has a 2 million for foreigners. And
Okay.
literally splits KL down almost in the middle. Basically one side, the east side and the west side, pretty much.
Okay.
But most places that people would look to live here in Malaysia, in KL, would be 1 million in the KL city area.
Mhm. So that investment requirement for the silver option is how much in USD approximately?
If you break down the property to be in 1 million as a minimum, then you're going to be taking about it's going to be about 225, and then
225K investment that's
yeah,
required on the silver.
you have to buy within 12 months a property for that meets the state minimums. You can get mortgages out here with from the local banks if you have some sort of income as well, even if it's just a pensionable income.
Yeah.
Normally up to 10 years, so you can soften the blow. And you can also use 75,000 of your 150 USD fixed deposit.
Okay. But the least expensive investment for the silver MM2H
Mhm.
option is you're saying 225,000 K, and you have to purchase a property for that amount within a year.
Yes. There are certain states like Pahang where you can actually go as low as 500K, but there's not many. So that 500K would be about 125 roughly.
Okay, and that's where? Located where?
That's in Pahang, which is
Pahang.
Phang. Yeah.
Pahang. Okay,
And that's where Langkawi is the island, basically.
so you
That's
can
what,
you can buy an investment for you can buy an investment property or a property for 125,000 in Pahang.
yes.
Still need to put the 150K deposit down.
Hmm.
Okay.
But of which you can use half towards the property. So,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So and do you ever find that people you assist somebody on this silver plan, they come over, they show
Mhm.
the 150K deposit and they don't buy a property and they
We
try to
haven't
stay
got
longer? Does that
we haven't got to that point yet because this new tranche of MM2H only came out in January.
okay.
And before that, they revoked everyone's licenses, so you had to reapply. So everyone's licenses only really kicked in February.
I see.
So we're still 6 months away from that ever being a possibility yet. But they will enforce it, to be fair.
Yeah.
Uh, you might not find that they enforce it in the first year or two, but definitely when you get to your renewal stage at 5 years, which is almost guaranteed also renewal, that they will definitely check then.
Yeah. Okay. And so what they do is just pretty much revoke your residency if you're not complying with the guidelines,
Don't know
I
yet.
guess.
I mean, they
Yeah.
might, who knows? They could say, okay, you've been naughty, now you've got 3 months to fix it. Or they could just say, get out. We don't know, really.
Yeah.
Um, in some ways, that would depend upon the person you're speaking to, as in the officer you're speaking to as well. Have they
Yeah.
had a bad day or they had a good day?
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So then there's also a gold option and a platinum option. Explain those.
So gold is basically 500,000 USD deposit.
Okay.
And the minimum requirement for the house has gone from 600K to 1 million. So that bit doesn't really matter. That's the same anyway. But it's mainly that the fixed deposit's gone up to 500K. So
Okay.
it's significant. And the only real benefit you get from that is that you're guaranteed 15 years visa rather than you're guaranteed 5 years visa. But
Once
in our
you,
experience in 25 years doing it for the company, we've never once had someone have their renewal denied. It's always gone through, as long as they meet the requirements they
Mhm.
agreed to.
And
So it's
what is the purchase requirement for the gold?
it's 1 million ringgit minimum. So basically, it's pretty much fallen in line with most minimums anyway, because the state minimums tend to be about that. So
What,
you're paying a lot more money just really to have the 15-year guarantee on
yeah,
the
what's a
visa.
million again in USD?
1 million in the USD is 4.3, so it's about 225 roughly.
225K investment. Okay. That's a million.
And
So,
then platinum is basically 1 million USD investment and a 2 million ringgit minimum on the property. The only advantage on that against versus the other two is that you are permitted to do business in Malaysia. So you can work, you can open a business. But it's to be honest, if you're here and you're doing business which is not in Malaysia, it's fine. I've got my most recent clients were a 69-year-old and a 73-year-old Australians who are both university lecturers who do online lectures for a Melbourne university, and
mhm.
they get paid to their Australian account. And the MM2H actually asked to see proof of income. They saw it and they're like, yeah, it's fine. As long as you're not doing business in Malaysia under MM2H, then you're fine. You can work, you can earn income, and there is no income tax on it either.
Okay.
With Malaysia, you get with MM2H, you get a tax number if you want one, but
Hmm.
you're not required to pay any income tax at all, or
Hmm.
any tax or anything from here.
Okay. So I'm guessing, okay, so these are the options if you want to live or retire in Malaysia. This is it. So
Yeah.
for the digital nomads,
Mhm.
typically a lot of those guys just stay for 90 days, right? There's a night you could stay for 90 days in Malaysia and then
Yeah,
leave, and you could actually do a border run and then come back and renew that 90 days. I think some people do that, correct?
some people do it. There is actually, I believe, a digital nomad visa of some sort. I think it gives you a 1 year and you have
Okay.
to prove some income, but I'm not familiar with that one, to be perfectly honest.
Hmm.
Uh, it's not that commonly utilized, and I'm not sure the requirements on that. But regarding the visa runs, when I first got here 20 years ago, there'd been people here for 20 years doing the 3 month visa runs.
Yeah.
It was fine then, it's not so much now because everything's digital. So, you know, before it was just a guy stamping a book and they probably wouldn't even look. But now it's all there in front of them going, yeah, 3 months, 1 week away, 3 months, 2 days away. And you can't normally get away with it for more than 2 or 3 times probably.
Okay.
If you're living here and you're traveling the region and you're going away for a month at a time and coming back and things like that, like a retirement lifestyle,
Sure.
holidaying, then you might get away with it for longer.
Yeah.
Um, but if you're gaming the system, it won't last long, to be honest.
Yeah, they notice now because everything. Okay.
Because
Good.
people have been doing it for so long as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. Is there anything else, Matt, that you can think of that we didn't discuss about these visas that could be helpful for the viewers?
about these specific visas or other types,
Or
because
any types, yeah. Is there
there
anything?
are two more, but
Oh, there
they're a
are.
bit more complicated. You can open a local company. You have
Okay.
to have a local business partner, and you have to put up 500,000 ringgit of paid up capital.
Okay.
Once you've done that, you can then do yourself a director's visa and pay yourself 15,000 ringgit per month. Um, and that's one way of getting in, but you do need to have a viable business behind that.
Okay.
Uh, the other is the same version, but it's in Labuan, which is an offshore center here.
Hmm.
That's for doing business outside Malaysia, but wanting to live in Malaysia.
Hmm.
Um, that would cost you about $30,000 per year maintenance cost just to have that visa for yourself and family.
Okay.
So they're not used that often, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But no, I mean with the MM2H, the only other requirements are some of them require you get health insurance, but I mean that's a very good thing to have anyway. Um, there are agent fees. They're mandated by the government, so they're not supposed to be flexible. If any agent ever tells somebody it's this plus 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 plus, then don't speak to that agent. Go somewhere else. Come to me.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean that's it really. I mean they're fairly straightforward. It's just can you meet the requirements and does it suit you? If so, the process is pretty simple. We can put an application in clean on, and within about 2 to 3 months, it will come back approved, basically.
Hmm.
And at that point, then they have to come to Malaysia within 90 days, get the chop on the passport, and good to go.
All right. All right. Well, that's it. Well, thanks for clearing all this stuff up for us, Matt. I appreciate it.
And yeah, so my other business you asked me to go into briefly earlier on.
Yeah.
Uh, we are wealth managers and financial planners globally for our expats. So we help our clients with tax planning, estate planning, do offshore banking. We do investments and we do insurances. So life insurance, health insurance, um, banking globally and investments globally a lot with a lot of the major banks as well. But in essence, that's basically full wealth management package for anybody who may need it, whether
Yeah.
they be a teacher earning $1,000 a month or whether they be a business person with a whole business to work with.
Hmm.
Um, we basically work with everybody really for that.
Yeah, we'll definitely include, we're going to include your information on our website so that
Mhm,
people can reach out for you. We'll put it in the description below as well. So people can reach out for you, out to you as well.
mhm.
Um, yeah, so it's great information. Well, Matt Kerr in Malaysia, the visa guy. You need financial guidance or anything with visas, we need to go to Matt Kerr. Thanks again, Matt, for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it.
Nice speaking to you, mate.